Okay, I was diagnosed at the end of 2017, October. But early in that year, I was with my friend who's the same age and pretty unathletic. So I said to him, I'm finding I can't seem to jump anymore. You know, I got up an inch, maybe two. I said, let me see you jump. And he, could jump up a few inches. And I said, I don't get this. Is it just age? So I just passed it off. So in April of that year, I had an annual physical with my primary physician, and he's looking at my legs, my quads to be precise, and they're like evaporating. So I said, that's not good. So we set up an appointment with a neurologist. I started at Beth Israel in Boston with a neurologist, and she had me do I guess it's an EMG. I can't remember all these medical terms. Where they stick the needle in your muscle. Anyway, it was the head of neurology who did it, and after just a few minutes, he said, and I wish he was a little kinder, but it doesn't matter. He said, there's no question. I said, what? You have IBM? I go, what the heck is IBM? I didn't know what that was. So fortunately, the fellow sat with me for an hour explaining it, what it was, it's not life-threatening, and so on and so on. So from that point on, I started to deteriorate, and my neurologist at Beth Israel knew that she had maybe one other patient with IBM, so she referred me to Dr. Anthony Amato at Beth Israel, who in the TMA boards, and he's well-versed in IBM. He became my doctor, and I was doing IVIG, and he said, don't do IVIG. It doesn't help. It's a waste of time and a waste of money. It's very expensive. So I stopped the IVIG. Fortunately, my progression has been fairly slow because I played tennis from 2017, 18, and 19 and stopped in 2020 because I was really getting slow. I wasn't running for the ball. I couldn't really run for the ball anymore. So I had to stop. But I still worked all the way up until 2021. And at work, I handled clients' monies. So I didn't want them to hear the word disease. I thought that they didn't want to work with somebody with disease. So I kept it quiet. Of course, I was depressed about it initially, but I just kept it quiet. And I was able to walk without a limp at work for a year. Then it started to go downhill a little bit. So the second year, I said, my knees starting to act up. Then it got a little worse. I said, I think it's my hip and my knee. When I retire, I'll take care of it. So nobody thought anything about it. I never used a cane. I was able to hide it. And I wanted to hide it. I didn't want anybody to be aware. And if it wasn't for, and you've heard this a million times, Chrissy, if it wasn't for you bringing me out of the closet, as I like to say, in, I think it was February 21, when you did that pop talk, I finally admitted that I had IBM. And still nobody saw it at work, but they now all know. I talk about it all the time. I wear this t-shirt all the time. I'm a little late today because I came from my stretch session, and I've asked the neurologist, they say this is perfectly fine. I came from a stretch session, and there's 50 minutes of stretching, and when I left the stretch session, I could walk to my car holding my cane, confident, and just walking better. I know I can already ambulate fairly well. I'm not into the wheelchair situation yet, but I use a cane. I walk without the cane. I just felt so much better. So stretching helps, exercising helps. I've also seen Dr. Tom Lloyd. I'll go anywhere all the time. I've been down to Yale and the IBM registry. If there's a glimmer of hope of getting information, I go anywhere. So I saw Tom Lloyd, and Tom Lloyd said, the only thing you can do is exercise. And then I told him I take creatine. He said, there's no evidence that creatine helps, but it can't hurt. I do believe, personal belief, there's no way of proving it, that I'm still progressing as slow as I am because I take creatine every single day. So I'm suggesting to anybody with IBM, it's like chicken soup. Try it. It might help. It won't hurt. So I've been doing pretty well, and the M in my IBM is motivated. I've been motivated to work on it. I've been now motivated to tell everybody about it, and that helps. And Ricky talked about, and I think Rhonda did too, about mortality. Everybody assumes it's going to affect mortality. Well, sports was a big thing in my life. Tennis, and having to give up tennis was super depressing. And all my sports, speed was my thing, so running. Only recently have I stopped a lot. It was every night I was dreaming that I could run fast. Then I wake up, I can't even run slow. So that's hit me hard, not to be able to do those things. But I can't say it depresses me, because I'm not going to let it stop to do anything. I went down to Fun Fit and Flex in Maryland, and I drove myself, and everybody was afraid. You can't drive yourself. I don't let anything stop me. I was very careful, and so on and so on. I got down there. I'm not going to let it stop me from doing anything. So what I tell my friends is, I'm not going to stop going anywhere. I'm just going to slowly get there. So I'm trying to do everything I can. I use my mental attitude to get me up and do things. When I get up off a chair slowly, people come and help me go, stop, I'll get up. I need to do it myself. So I do a lot of things myself, but these fingers are a problem. This is my right hand. The fist is going. This left one's gone already. So I've only devised one or two special hacks, but I use all the hacks, and I think that's a big deal, how you get by. The other day, my newspaper was up on the walkway, and there's some stairs, and I don't have a railing yet because we're going to redo the house. So I took a long pole, an extension pole, extended it all the way up, reached out to the papers and pulled them down. I always try to find a way to do something myself, but I can't open a flip-top can anymore, but they have a device for that. So if my wife's not around, put the device in and you open it up. But it's frustrating buttoning shirts and so on. It's really tough. But I rely on hacks a lot, and I know TMA is doing a lot to put it on the website now about hacks, how to do different things, and I think that's essential. I rely on those things all day long, including my sneakers, which I showed you about, that have zippers on it, so I can unzip them and put them on quickly. Just keep finding things. Well, I think it's not diagnosed in tens or hundreds of thousands of people, if not more. When I couldn't jump, I already had myositis. I didn't know that. So I think, not that it's going to help you not have it, but it will help you knowing sooner. So you can begin to think about adapting and not be as fortunate as me, I hate to say I'm fortunate, to progress as slowly as I have now. I mean, it went down fast, but now it's going like this, you know? So I think it's really important that everybody know about it. And I've told you this before, I can't understand the physicians. Physicians don't know what IBM is, or well, if you say myositis, they'll probably know that. But inclusion body myositis, they've never heard of it. So the education needs to be there, because it's good, because it's more prevalent than people think. TMA shouldn't be a smaller organization that it is. It should be as well known as American Cancer Society, the Heart Association. There's no reason. It's pretty serious. It really kind of sucks. Oh, well, I think we need to rely on research. And when I first heard about arimoclomol, all my hopes and prayers were on that, and that didn't work. But that was about the only thing going. Now there's all kinds of things going. There's gene therapy going on, the Greenberg study, which I hope to get into. I think there's another one. I can't think of them all. But there's a few going on. So I think that's essential. What my hope is, the medicine, or the T cells that they're finding that affect the muscles, that they can at least arrest it, so all of us who have what we have today will not get worse. And as I think Ricky said, he's hoping to get 10 to 20% better, and that would be great. I think if you stop it, it's possible to regenerate slightly. Not a lot, but slightly. I'll take it. So there's also something that I discovered because I'm getting more involved, and I went down to the TMA conference. I found a wonderful lady who has IBM, became friends with her, and she's going to have a tendon transplant to her fingers so she can have full use of her fingers. There's a doctor at Mass General that does it. Maybe there's others, but he's well known at Mass General. So I'm staying in touch with her. We're going to follow up with her. I'll see her when she comes to Boston, and to see if it really works, because if I can get use of my hand, I'll do it. She said, it may only last for 5 or 6 years. I said, I'll take it. 5 or 6 years of my age, I'll take it. If I can start to use this right hand better, because, I'm having trouble now with the pen. I've got the special pen here, the any pen or whatever they call this thing. I forget, but, there isn't anything I won't try to do. So I hope science will work. And if it doesn't work, I think technology should be better. We're not working on that for IBM. They have exoskeletons for people who have spinal injuries. There's no reason why they can't extend it to us. And I know Honda has a Stride Assist in Japan, and it's barely in the United States. You can't get it. And I know it's cumbersome, but it will actually, you wear it around your waist, and it actually propels your legs up stairs. There's also new a wheelchair. I don't know if it's fully developed yet, but it has tracks like a tank, but they're rubber tracks. It has a gyroscope to keep the seat up straight, so it will actually climb stairs. So instead of putting these stair lifts, you can get in a wheelchair that easily climbs and doesn't hurt anything and keeps you straight, go up a stair, any stair. So you can go up the stair in your house, you can go up a second stair in your house, you can go up the stairs outside. You never have to get out of the wheelchair if you need a wheelchair. So I think technology, robotics, if TMA can get involved in that, I think that's the next key, because if you have IBM, you're always going to have IBM. Maybe it won't be as bad, but you'll always need some kind of assist as you progress. So I'm hoping for technology, science, and clinical trials.